Hello, everyone, and welcome to PAPAtv Live. We are here tonight to play two exciting games, and this is our second to last broadcast before we take a break for the Replay FX. My name is John Replogo. I'm here with Evan Bookbinder and Fred Cochran. Good evening, guys.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
And we are excited to play Ghostbusters and Spirit of 76 this evening. So tonight, I gotta say, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Ghostbusters, just because I feel like it has some Playfield issues. I gotta say, it's one of the best themes, and I was really looking forward to this game when it first came out. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
For me, it was actually my first new in-box purchase. Fan of this game, fan of the movie. Watched it I can't tell you how many times, and picked up a premium. I think the theme integration was amazing. I think the artwork was amazing. But when you get down into the gameplay, there are some issues. I think some of them might be able to work out with future software updates, and others, it can be an extremely challenging game. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it is a challenging game. There's some really wonderful things. I got to say, the sound package is great.
Absolutely.
Obviously, a theme couldn't get any better than Ghostbusters for me. I was always a huge fan of that movie back in the day. I don't know. Well, but why don't we go ahead and do the keys to the game for Ghostbusters? Evan, you said you were going to give us some really exciting keys to the game today.
I am. So, keys to the game brought to you by PAPAtv and our friends over at PAPAtv, supporting autism with their amazing charity. But the Ghostbusters keys today, let's play the movie. So a lot of movie-related, theme-related modes here in this game, and spelling out Ghost and defeating the Slimer, which is a really cool shot in this game. We'll start the modes based on those movie scenes, and as you work your way through mode completion and complete the scenes of an act, you can get basically through a mini wizard mode. We came, we saw, we kicked it. I'll just leave it at that. Captivating multi-ball. This game has some pretty neat multi-balls in it, which are done by collecting ghosts scattered about the playfield. For those of you familiar with playing Congo and you collect diamonds, I think there's a lot of similar context there.
Ooh, that's a nice crossover, Evan.
Well, I played it last night, so it kind of stuck with me. But collecting ghosts will kind of advance you through the game toward storage facility multi-ball, some other features, and awards that we'll address as we get through the gameplay here. And there's a lot of stacking involved, which you definitely want to take advantage of to get some big points in this game, using multi-ball with the modes.
You know what I like stacking?
Go ahead.
A hamburger.
Absolutely.
You stack one hamburger on top of another. You were talking about different stacking.
Yeah. I get what you're going, and I'm a big fan of that too.
Okay.
Like
good.
A super baconator and all that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
interrupt.
Nope, continue on.
Fine. It's dinner time. I get it. So, the last key is I ain't afraid of no ghost. So, the symmetrical book stacking ball and the ghost targets, light shots and in lanes on the game for ghosts captured. So again, going back to this collecting ghost strategy, every 20 ghosts you collect, some features lit. We'll get through those. Looping supers, the PKE frenzy, which can be really lucrative. And my favorite, I want to see Chris Stevens. Your goal is to get to mass hysteria multi-ball. And he's staring at me like, that's kind of tough. But hopefully we can pull it off, because I think that's one of the neater things that Stern did with this game.
I had it lit right when we were practicing, and had the ramp lit, and went out lane, said see ya bye, which is normal for me. So I'm going to defer to listen to you guys. I don't know a whole bunch of this game. I know a few shots with this game, but I know you guys have a little more experience than I do.
So this game's unique in that before you plunge the ball, you have the ability to kind of choose your own skill shot, choose your own adventure. Depending on which shot you light up, you have the opportunity to hit that shot with the flipper, and depending on which shot you pick, you can start scenes, you can get points, you can advance playfield multipliers. So there's a lot of different ways before you even pull the first plunger to go about playing this game.
So it looks like Jake was actually doing that short plunge for the skill shot. And he unfortunately hit the captive ball instead of hitting the shot he was aiming for. But
Right.
That's one of the things I learned. Actually, we talked about digital pinball a while back. I downloaded this on the Stern or Pinball Arcade and tried to learn the game because I just don't have, I didn't have access to one of these. And short plunging and getting your skill shots is a huge thing. So I just kept on doing that.
So one of the reasons why you short plunge, and for those relatively new to the pinball scene, that's basically you're pulling the plunger only part way to get the pinball to roll up the ramp and then just kind of dribble back down toward the flipper. And this has something to do with what we call Playfield validation. What you're trying to do in this situation is get the ball to a flipper without triggering any switches in the game. And it kind of gives you free, no-risk play. So if you happen to drain the ball, you're going to get it back. What that does is allow you to take the shot through the right orbit, which is one of those skill shots I just mentioned. Kind of gets your first mode started and gets you underway with little to no risk. So there's some advantage to doing the short plunge, but there's some more lucrative things that can be done with a hard plunge. Risk reward.
Yeah, the super jackpots on this, I thought, like, the scoring on this when it first came out was a little bit higher than what it is now. And it just seems like it's more balanced. I think Chris told me $1 billion was a good score in this game. I can generally get 200 or 300 million on this, and I don't know. Not knowing the game, I feel pretty good about that.
the points seem to come fast and furious once you get to a certain point.
I agree. It's kind of, I think there's still some loopholes in the code that allow for exponential growth. But you kind of got to do some things to make it happen. But once you do, and that's what I don't like about tournament play, is you can really start getting crazy and your score becomes almost unattainable. But
I love using the unobtainium in pinball.
well, it does have some similarities to Avatar with that nasty left, what I call the double bounce drain off the metal lanes there.
It has a lot of similarities. Any of the games that have those metal double in lanes,
Yeah.
you will get a lot of those that move towards the outlane from there. Metallica's a big one,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, this one, it seems like it goes out more than like Metallica. Metallica was a tough one, but this one I find that it bounces out a lot more.
What's interesting was so this game does not have lightning flippers, but it essentially does, because lightning flippers were obviously a Williams thing. But
Bowling ball, go right to the
that
middle.
giant gap between the two flippers is really what kills you in this game. Not only that, but the flippers themselves are drooped a little bit below the in-lane guide, so they sit naturally lower. You would think that would make the outlanes a bit narrower, and that Metallica, Avatar, Tron type drain wouldn't happen so often, but it does. So you kind of get killed down the middle and down the outlanes.
When you say about lightning flippers being only a Williams thing, that doesn't stop us from changing and putting Williams lightning flippers on Stern games. We do that all the time. In fact, we just installed them on I think KISS and something else.
I think he was talking about the fact that it's a Williams copyright.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you've got the gap there because this game's designer was known for doing this to a lot of the games.
Well,
but
yeah, he did it to quite a few of the games that he designed. Mustang is a more recent notable one that they're all a little wider. It started, I think, with, well, actually, I don't know if it
Creature?
started the Creature from the Black Lagoon back in 1992. That was a very wide flipper gap.
The other thing that's really weird about this game, too, with the flipper gap is the geometry in this game is just kind of bizarre. Like, there's a lot of just odd places the ball can bounce, and the trajectory of the ball can change.
Mm-hmm.
And that flipper gap just seems even bigger at that point.
It does. My complaints aren't about the way the bounces work on this game. It's just I feel like there's a dead shot on the game. Like the right ramp feels like a dead shot to me. That's just not.
I actually kind of like the right ramp shot.
So
Well, okay.
I don't
Your
know why, it just
mileage
feels
may
good.
vary.
It feels good to hit. I don't know. It's a tough shot, but
I think it feels good to hit, but I think this game struggles with the difference between the Pro and the Premium / LE version are enough of a difference to make a a pretty big difference in gameplay. And to me, I think the premium LE in some cases, if we want to address that a little bit, kind of punishes the player for successfully making shots, which I'm personally not a big fan of.
Yeah, I think you're talking one of the big features for me that actually I don't think was implemented perfectly was the magnetic slingshots for the premium LE.
Right. So, and I own this. So initially, when you start out the game, the magnetic slings, they did a phenomenal job. They actually really behave like normal slings. It's pretty tough to tell the difference. But as you advance through the gameplay, the computer kind of takes over, and they use the magnets to do some cool effects with the balls, as if each slingshot was a ghost in the movie, and they're kind of messing around with the ball. And one of the things they do is kind of pass the ball back and forth, hold it dead center over the out lane or the center drain, and let go. And there's nothing you can do besides
do a Josh Sharp, man.
Violent
do a Josh Sharp. That's all you gotta do.
Slide save to save the ball.
I mean,
and so I personally don't really care for that, but.
Or you could do a John. You could do a meat hook save.
There's no such thing as a meat hook save.
Oh, when you slap your hand through the cabinet and make the game move to the left? Yeah, there is. And you do it well, and you know it. So it doesn't look like anybody's got a hold of the game yet. It doesn't look like anybody's got a lot of progress. It's like I said, it's a tough playing game. And like I said, I don't know much about it, but like Evan said earlier, once you start getting a little bit further into the game, you can collect some big points. But getting there and surviving to that point is half the battle.
I feel like with a lot of the John Trudeau games, if you don't get started, you're done. If you can get started and you get moving through the games, you're going to have good results at that point.
And let's talk about that. So modes are a very important part to this game. And so you can start the modes from a skill shot. And so as you said, you're underway. So if you can successfully use your skill shot to start a scene, as it's called in Ghostbusters, you can pick one of the 3 tiers, we'll get into that, of modes, and you're underway. But if you fail to do that, well, how else do you start a mode? And to me, that's the other issue with the game, is it's not inherently obvious. It's not intuitive to the beginner player. But what you got to do is hit those ghost shots that are flashing in the dead center of the playfield,
right,
and kind of bash Slimer, which is a lot easier on the pro because the one we're playing here, because Slimer's a stationary target. We're on the premium LE, and I think it's kind of cool, but it's a lot tougher. It moves left to right. So hitting him enough times to light a mode and then start a mode, I've seen a lot of games get to ball 3 and you've essentially accomplished nothing.
And just because it has the wider flipper gap doesn't mean you can't still do all your flipper moves. You can still do post passes. You can still do rollovers. You might have noticed Chris just did a rollover from the left to the right there to take a controlled shot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to play it live. You can still do dead bounces.
I think dead bounces are actually even more effective on this game because the flippers are naturally dropped just a hair lower.
I agree. I think you can make a lot of different decisions based on the nuances of this game.
Yeah, learning the way the ball bounces. That's kind of what I was talking about with the geometry of the game. Once you learn a little bit more about the geometry, you can trust your dead bounces a little bit more. Because like on a standard stern like AC/DC, Metallica, Walking Dead, things like that, the flippers are set up as such that you know what you're going to get, and the bounces are a little bit more favorable.
So
what was Chris doing there?
He just completed the second mode. So he's kind of playing out the right tier of modes.
Okay.
And you can see those white rectangles on the playfield. There are 3 of them through the right orbit. There's 3 of them up the left ramp, and then 2 of them at the left saucer. A lot of players think the right orbit is the easiest tier to go through. I agree, because that shot can be easily backhanded from the right flipper or hit pretty easily from the left. But Chris was kind of well underway to completing the 3 modes in that right orbit tier, and really good things happen if you can work your way all the way through those.
What do we got? Camera's moving. What's going on there, John?
I was moving the camera.
New toys.
New toys, and John will play with them. that's the way it goes. Don't call me out when I try something new, Fred.
No, I just want to make sure that the people at home know what we're doing and what you're doing.
Nobody knows what I'm doing.
Well, we're trying to inform people of what you're doing, John.
That's not what you should be doing.
No, I absolutely should be. I have to keep an eye on you.
Is that your job in life?
No, it's my job right now.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of wanted to see the video mode in this too because they're kind of both cheesy. It originally only had one, which basically amounted to a guessing game.
Right,
but
but
one of the crossing the streams was actually
Crossing
pretty
the Streams
cool.
is fun.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out at first.
And it's not immediately it's not necessarily winnable all the time either.
No, but if you get, like I said, if you get the timing, you figure out, then you can, it's almost like the order that you want to pick the flippers with on how you want to get the ghost. Because again, I was just hitting both flippers at first because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and then I realized, you can delay and get the ones with the left flipper first, and the ones on the right or whatever.
Oh, ill-advised dead bounce there, Jake.
Because he heard us saying you could pretty much dead bounce anything. But
No headphones.
He tried 2 dead bounces. So the funny thing was when we first got this game on location at Kickback back a couple years ago or whatever, and I had no idea how to play it. So we stepped up in a match play, and we get the video mode where you just basically pick one of the 2 cards at random. And I'm 8 deep at this point. And I just thought it eventually ends and you collect all the points. I didn't realize you could cash out. And they're all laughing behind me because the statistical odds that on a coin flip I had picked 8 in a row, and it was on the truly random setting. It was pretty funny. I ended up winning the match based on lucky guesses, essentially. So,
Well, congratulations.
It was pretty funny. If people didn't, I know people didn't see it, but at the beginning of the ball, Aton walked over, turned around and talked to the guys behind him. The plunger got stuck in his pocket of his pants, and then he actually plunged the ball with the pocket of his pants. He didn't mean to do
This
that.
is the important stuff that happens in pinball.
but that's something that sounds very Aton.
It's pretty funny, though.
It's the lurch strategy.
That's right. I forgot about the lurch.
Okay, so maybe we should start talking a little bit about gameplay here and gameplay strategy. But he's in the middle of the Who Brought the Dog mode, which essentially is 3 shots that are lit and pretty obvious on the playfield, and completing those 3 shots allows you to start the next mode. So mode completion in this game is extremely important, because if you successfully complete a mode, you can immediately start the next one. If you fail to complete the mode and it basically times out on you, if you will, you're forced to bash away at Slimer at a pretty significant risk to be able to play the next mode.
As long as it doesn't put it up on the screen, that's all. So Pete Hendricks just won his first league championship here in the building, and he won it on what did he win it on? I can't remember what game he played.
Matahari was the final game?
I think it was.
Was it Matahari? I just played it the other day, and every time I got the ball in the scoop, it shot it right down the middle. I'm not sure how he won.
I remember that. You failed to shake it when it came out of the scoop.
I failed to do everything. I had like 3,000 for the entire ball.
I think you lost all 3 balls that way, if I remember right.
It was, yeah, it was. It was. That's exactly what happened. It was all 3 balls down the middle, and that was it.
I think one of the plunges you were like, okay, I got to make sure I don't go in the hole. It goes in the hole anyways, of course.
Yeah, it just whenever you want it to go in, it does, or it does not, and whenever you don't want it to go in, it still does. So yeah, it was pretty bad.
All right, Pete is. Oh, that was savable.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
Well, neither did Pete, apparently.
So what are we doing? We got Chris Stevens. He took the victory, I guess. Here, player 1.
He's all proud of himself, and we're gonna play another game of Ghostbusters here.
Because
And
none of those were okay, but I think we can do a lot better here.
I think they can do better. I think they deserve another chance.
We need to see some storage facility, multi-ball, stacked with some modes.
I gotta say, we just need to see something, because that was
okay. You can say it.
That was PAPAtv Live right there. It was real pinball, where not everybody gets 2 billion points every time they play. This time they will get 2 billion points, or I'm going to take him out back and beat him with clubs.
2 billion points.
I don't know. That's a little rough.
That'll be the entire show.
Okay, so Chris goes for his captive ball. He's trying to light the lock there. If he can hit that again, it will light the lock.
I love the captive, the Newton ball thing here. So there's like, what, 3 balls, is it, in that captive ball?
I think it's
thing?
4, actually. I think it's 4.
And depending on how many balls you advance into the catch behind it, it actually does different things. So lighting kind of a mystery award,
that was
starting
nice
your
save.
locks.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was a great save.
It's timed, too. It'll release the balls back if you don't hit it when the timer is on. Yeah, the sound effects on this game are fantastic. I really enjoy the sound effects.
Yeah, me too, Fred. I mean, it's got all the good shot stuff from the movie, and then it's just got good effects for the game itself as well.
Yeah, the playfield's beautiful. I love the colors. It definitely catches your eye.
You like the artwork on it?
I like the artwork
I
on it.
love
I think the
the
colors
artwork
on
on
it,
it.
I think, are fantastic.
And the cabinet art's phenomenal too. I really think they nailed the theme of both movies. It's definitely more biased toward the first movie, but the Scolari brothers and some other things, they do some stuff from
Those guys
the
annoy
second
me on
movie.
this game, though. Those targets.
Yep.
Ugh.
I know if you don't hit them both down,
I-
then they both come back up. And
I mean, I don't mean to go back over this again, but it seems like this game is a very polarizing game. Some people really love this game. Some people have said, it's their favorite Stern that's ever come out. But other people, I feel like it's really an thumbs up or a thumbs down, not a neutral.
I agree, and I think from what I've talked to people about the game, I think there's a big pro versus premium LE love or hate for this game too. For me, I had owned the premium for a long time, and I just got so frustrated by it, and I see some people in the chat kind of agreeing with that context. And we already talked about the Magna slings, but I thought the right ramp shot was the other problem, if you will, maybe an engineering design.
The twisty ramp.
On the version we're playing now, the right ramp is basically a straight shot up and back, and then the ball, through gravity, falls back to the right flipper. On the premium LE, that right ramp it's a hairpin, almost 180-degree turn up a sharp curve that ends up coming around to the flipper. No matter how well...
Wait, something's happening in the background.
Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
What is that? Oh, there's a ghost. And
There was a ghost.
And Aton took the ghost out.
Was it a ghost of Pinball's past?
No, that is definitely the ghost of
Pinburg Future.
Pinball currently. That is the ghost of Pinball currently in the building. That's
I think that blanket came from Pinball's past.
there's a couple holes in it and everything. A little ratty. I like it.
Aton was actually, he was like, busting makes me feel good. And, like...
He just saved us all. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Aton, right before he plunged, he turned around, saved us from the ghost, and went back to kicking butt.
All right. Where was
and
I?
then he got a nice no flip off the game. That was no fun. No
Where was
flip
I?
equals no fun.
Oh, I was talking about the right ramp. And so on the premium LE, that right ramp is like a 180-degree hairpin turn on a really sharp bend, and no matter how perfectly you hit that shot, it will reject like 80% of the time. It can't make that turn. It's a kind of the physics is a bit off with it.
Would you call that a design error?
I would, because if you take out the hex post that supports that ramp and lower it by a few fractions of an inch, I tried a few, it got a bit better. It didn't get perfect, but definitely lowering the steepness of the ramp allowed the ball to clear. But it was just frustrating because that right ramp shot is not only important for a few completions of the modes, but if you get into PKE frenzy later in the game, which can be pretty lucrative, you have to hit that shot. That's the jackpot, if you will, collect for that mode.
So
and it just got frustrating as all.
I'm gonna say that I think the other 20% of that was you just not making the shot.
I appreciate your confidence and
There's
my
no problem.
lack of shot making.
Fred just listens to what people say. says you're wrong.
And you're terrible.
And we
at
move
pinball.
on. And we move on.
And then he's like, I'm done.
I said no such
You
thing
said
about
you're-
you being
you're
horrible.
terrible at pinball.
I never said that.
Yeah, he
you
did.
inferred that.
The implication was there.
I think if anybody out there listening knows me pretty well, and the two left to my right, in my right,
We
if
love
I
you,
wanted to
Fred.
say you sucked at pinball, I'd tell you.
I had
He-
24 hours in a car with you for you to tell me I sucked at pinball.
We didn't talk about pinball the whole time. We talked
didn't
about,
talk about hardly at all,
weather
which
and
is-
biscuits, man.
Just made the trip good. Speaking of weather, man, what an awesome day here.
Oh, yeah. I was just outside, and there's clouds going every which way, and they're colliding into each other, and things were spinning around in a circle.
Lightning bolts are dropping left and right. I got some
Wow.
amazing photography before I drove down here, and hey, all our games are still working, and let's keep it
Hopefully
that
the
way.
power stays on
Hopefully the
for us
power.
tonight.
We got more power in this building than if Carnegie goes out, the lights will still stay on. I think we'll be okay.
It's not. That's not accurate at all.
That is 100% accurate.
If we don't, if we have a power problem, those CDs will just harness Gozer, and we'll be good to go.
Well, okay. So we finally got what we wanted. We got a multi-ball.
All right, we got 20 ghosts. So you just saw the 20 on the screen there with light Tobin Spirit Guide. So Tobin Spirit Guide is kind of I hate to call it mystery mode because you do have some say in what you get if you study the game long enough. And that mystery mode is available at the left scoop.
Oh, good timing. He got
Nice
his add-a-ball.
which is also available at the left scoop. The left scoop does all sorts of stuff in this game. It's your extra ball shot.
You can also get
Add-a-ball.
add-a-ball through the mystery pops.
You can get an add-a-ball through the pop bumpers.
Which means you can actually get multiple add-a-balls per multi-ball.
That is
which
correct.
Is pretty cool.
Yeah, that actually happened before we went on air, and I had never seen that before, and I thought that was a pretty cool
Yeah.
feature.
Game of Thrones is similar with its very lucrative, sometimes pop bumper awards. So I like it.
I like that feature in the games, the pop bumpers giving the awards. I think it's a really cool thing.
Ooh,
'Cause
That
people-
was sticky.
People naturally tend to avoid pop bumpers, because they send the ball out of control. Although in this game, that's really not necessarily true, especially if it comes out the right side. There's a little kind of gate to focus the ball down to the flipper. So
I'm surprised we haven't ripped that gate out yet.
some really nice catches.
Yeah,
there,
these live
Chris.
catches are almost a little bit intimidating, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think what we need to do
Oh, yeah, that was going out.
is
He saved it. Does he get... He got away with one.
before his next ball, we should take the gate out. What do you think, John?
And
No.
now, this game's mean enough, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
we want to see some progress here, Fred.
Oh, okay.
You just want to see pain.
No, I never said that.
So unfortunately, those Scaleri brothers, which are two drop targets right in the middle of the playfield, blocking the shots he's trying to get to. So you got to clear those out of the way, and you have to clear them both, or they come back.
Oh.
And that ball's not coming.
That was
back.
geometry.
Yeah, but he shot that ball around the orbit so quickly. He wanted to do like a loop pass without even flipping. He was able to pull that off, but then the next flip went down the middle.
All right, Jake is looking for some redemption here in this case, and we'll see if he can pull it off.
What do we got going on, guys? We back here? All right.
All right, Jake. Start a mode.
Come on, Jake. We believe.
I wonder why you shot it up there. I wonder why you let it go down there.
I would say that's bad decisions.
Well,
I think you made mind control over Jake and made him make those bad
I
decisions.
did not do mind control over
You were
Jake.
staring at him with the eyes from the guy from Doctor Who. The little circles were coming out of your eyes, and you were like, Jake,
like
you're a trainer.
angels or something?
No, they were just circles.
Okay.
So Captain Retro in chat says this is maybe the best call-outs of any game in the last 15 years, and I
Fair enough.
agree. I'm struggling to come up with a comparison.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie was so.
Catchy.
It was like having an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I mean, everything's a one-liner,
Yeah.
and they were good ones. Like you had some of the best comedians in the business doing movie-style comedy, which was great.
At that time, that was the thing to do. Like having just an all-star cast of people in a movie and, having the one-liners and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can never get enough of the call out. I blame you. So do I.
All right, so
That sounds like something I'd say.
Pete is trying to start a scene on the left scoop, which is an interesting decision, but he unfortunately overplunged.
He doesn't care. He plays dangerously. He plays on the fly. That's all he does.
It's not all he does, but he does play dangerously.
All right.
He's not afraid of no ghosts.
So, John and Fred, I think it's trivia time for this game.
Oh, boom. Here we go.
All right, chat, here we go. When is the triple super jackpot lit in Ghostbusters? And give you a hint, there are 2 times you can do this. So
I know the answer.
of course you do.
It's after the double.
I was going to say the same exact thing. You beat me to it, you jerk.
There's no double jackpot in this game, so you would be wrong.
There's no triple jackpot?
No, there's no double jackpot.
There isn't?
Regular or triple. I'm pretty sure there's no
A regular
double.
and a triple, there's no double? How does that even make sense?
Now, if you go to Wendy's and you're looking at the menu,
I knew where we were going with this.
Well, whenever John and we travel, we go to Wendy's quite a bit, and triples are usually on the menu.
yeah, you're like, I definitely know there's triples on the menu. I definitely know there's singles on the menu.
What about the secret menu, John? What's on the secret menu?
That's in and out.
The
Isn't that
secret
In-N-Out?
menu of Ghostbusters.
Secret menu at Wendy's. Meat cube, baby. That's all we got to say.
Meat cube.
So Pete's got some stuff happening here after his failed plunging.
I love the music to this mode.
Yeah, the music, like I said, the music, the sound, the call-outs are fantastic.
I bet Evan Bingham does too. This little piano music there. He's a big piano player.
And this
Shout
is-
out to my buddy.
The one thing that people, like, they talk about this movie like it's, fantastic, and I'm guessing it is because I've only seen it once.
What?
I've only seen Ghostbusters one time.
Get out of here.
Well, at least
I'm
you've
not
seen it
leaving.
once.
I've seen it once. I remember barely anything about it. I remember the Sigourney Weaver she was the ghost or whatever at the end of the movie.
She's not a ghost.
I don't know what she was.
She was possessed.
She was possessed. Okay, with Rick Moranis. I remember that.
She, the gatekeeper and the keymaster.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. You got to help me out here.
You know, Petey Hendricks does an amazing Rick Moranis impression of this movie.
Does he?
Yeah, oh,
he does.
really?
It's like spot on.
I want to hear that.
Well, then he
later.
has to come over here and do it then.
Well, we'll get him on there.
We gotta ask him to do the Who Brought the Dog mode. First time I heard it, I'm like, oh my gosh, Rick Moranis is standing right behind me. All right, CDs, let's blow this up, man.
Hey,
That's not going to make it happen.
all right, CDs. Let's let it drain. Whenever I tell him to do that, he does well. So here we go. Look at that beautiful drop catch,
Into the scoopage.
and the drop catch was into a brick. So we'll forgive it.
Safe return.
So far, no chat responses on our trivia. Can you guys hear us?
I wouldn't listen to us.
You have no choice.
Yeah, that triple super jack. One is really easy to do, and one is really challenging to do.
Why don't you give him a hint, Evan?
One of the ways involves some drop targets. That kind of really gives it away. The other way.
Oh, that was beautiful.
The other way involves.
That wasn't bad at all.
The other way involves ghosts.
So ghosts and drop targets.
Drop targets and ghosts.
That narrows it down to the entire game.
I ain't afraid of no drop targets. I love how you get all these things.
The Lupin Supers thing is pretty fun.
The Lupin Supers can be ridiculous.
I got 17 in a row the other day.
So it can
Nice.
theoretically be indefinite too.
Right, with the out of time.
So it's on a timer, a very long timer, may I add. And when you make a shot, you get a little bit of that time back. And so if you kind of ramp out, so to speak.
Oh, what a save that was. That was gorgeous, too. What an
And a Lazarus.
And a full Lazarus. A save and a full Lazarus
Holy
right in a row.
Smokes, we got Replay Fest available now.
And there
Oh, my goodness. There's like 3 replayable moments in the
Yes.
past 20
Okay.
seconds.
Okay, so Chris has completed all 3 modes on the right orbit,
Going
which
for the
has allowed him to get, hopefully, right into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man mini wizard mode.
Oh, he's doing a little dance. Look at that.
Balls are locked.
He's pretending he's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
He said he wanted to crush cars today, so he's actually making.
Oh, my gosh.
He's doing it.
Look at the points he's getting here, too, by the way. You don't...
So every ramp shot started at a 50 million per shot mode. This is like way better than Loopin' Supers. This is Loopin' Marshmallows. Absolutely crushing this.
Yeah, this is definitely better than Looping Supers.
So it started at 50 million, and then you kind of build from that base value.
All right, so
Beautiful
how do you
job,
get this mode again?
He completed all 3 of the main modes in the right orbit tier. So there's those white rectangles there. So if you complete all 3 modes, the mini wizard mode for that tier is the Stay Puft Marshmallow mode.
That was worth a couple points.
And I think if I recall, there was a way to even like double those points and really blow that up using the
Skill shot of 75.8 million points. Yeah, that's broken.
Okay, so that's one of the issues I have with this game. So if you make any skill shot, no matter which one you choose, you get 10% of your score. One of the skill shots is also labeled as 10% of your score. So if your score is already big and you make your skill shot, that's 20% of your score just for plunging the ball, essentially.
That was a great live shot right there.
It was.
Ah, almost. All right. He's got another. Well, we tried to get a little cute with it there. All right. And there it is. We came, we saw. I didn't say that.
Kick that's took us.
Booty.
So what do we do in this mode, Evan?
Loop out.
In this mini wizard mode.
This is obvious.
What do you shoot?
You have to kick its thing.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Looping out.
Yeah.
You loop out?
And by
Which-
that we mean the left ramp.
Yeah, I mean.
You can go right orbits also value. I mean,
He's got 2 in a row. Here we go.
Just
Uh,
basically the point value's ridiculously high, and it's a multi-ball, and so you want to take a shot that you can repeat. And so I think the best way to play this is what he's doing is trap a ball on the left, use the right flipper to just hit the left ramp over and over and over.
I sort of.
There was a subtle thing that he did actually. The second ball was coming through the left
Oh
out
my
lane.
gosh.
It was going to knock the third ball from the left flipper, and instead of trying to save it, he just caught the one on the left and shot with the right.
And in the 10 seconds you spoke, he's added 2 balls and acquired an extra ball.
Yeah,
So-
but that was points. He's already
And-
had his regular extra ball.
And then he lost this, or at least one of those.
And he's got, are you kidding? Wait a minute, is a 6X Playfield going? Holy smokes. Okay, so
Okay, here we go.
there are 2 Playfield multipliers.
4, 5, 6, 7,
12.
Oh my gosh.
8. Oh, crap. I asked for 2 billion. Remember that, Fred?
You did, and I said we'd be here the rest of the broadcast. That was beautiful.
Oh, now he's got Loopin' Supers ready. And the super jackpot value.
It's
got to
be like 50 million, right?
It's got to be getting up there.
That was a beautiful
I'd say
drop
at
catch right
least
into the
One
ramp.
super. Oh, look at that. That was great decision. Here we go. 2.
Well, he's
3.
got this ramp so dialed in. Oh my gosh. Oh, and value's not that high.
There we go.
Yeah, 63 million's not that much.
I thought was it 6 and change million, wasn't it?
That was 63.
No. That was for the king.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
63?
but he's also getting the we came, we saw while he's doing that. So you might see the super jackpot, but he's also getting this we came, we saw.
I mean, the grand champion score is absolutely obliterated. Yeah, it's 6.3 million.
Yeah,
by
but
a
it was
shot.
63.
compared-
the multipliers are gone.
There's your
Compared
2
to-
billion.
Compared to everything else that was going on, those are like the super jackpots point worthless.
Okay.
So
Chris is like, I've accomplished my mission.
I want to talk about the Playfield multipliers because they're so lucrative.
Go ahead.
There's a stand-up target on each side of the left ramp. One is labeled 2x, the other is labeled 3x. There's a couple ways to light them. One of those is a skill shot. The other way is smashing the captive balls on the left. Mystery awards, but if you light one and then hit that stand-up target, you get a 2x or 3x Playfield multiplier. If you get them both, 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 times whatever the score point, the values you were going to get awarded, that can get obviously insanely large, like Chris just demonstrated.
1.1 billion points he got during that mode. I'd just like to point that out. You know, in case.
So he's completed the entire right tier modes. I'm just in awe.
You know, I got to say, there's a certain point where you get to it, and you just say, that's stupid points. So that's stupid points.
I think we've gotten to that point. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say
we-
we've gotten to that
we've
point.
gotten there.
So basically,
We
Chris
got one.
He's moved on to the second tier of modes, which is the left ramp, and completed the first one right off the bat. So
All right,
starting
second
the
mode.
second mode. I like this mode.
So you have to hit the ramp 3 times, and then it'll light one of the orbits.
Pretty easy to complete the way he's playing. I don't want to jinx him, but
Do it again.
really cool background music on this too. Oh, when he gets a lock lit from the pop bumpers, that's always nice.
Oh. You know, that was pretty good.
That
Okay,
was one of
let's
the
take a
best
look.
balls I've
Let's
ever
take a
seen.
look at a couple of those notable things. That was that live catch. That was pretty cool.
Jake, you got this.
Here's
man.
another one of the things. That was a shot. And that was that save. That,
That was
sick and
disgusting.
disgusting save.
Was that a one danger save?
No, that was definitely a
Two?
double danger save. But he earned his cereal. You know, we'll give him some cereal after the show.
What kind of cereal is he going to get?
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
So,
They are magically delicious. I love them.
believe it or not, as disgusting as that ball was, you could actually have made that even way, way, way bigger. There's a
Whoa.
couple ways to get into We Came, We Saw, Mini Wizard mode.
We can say it, Evan.
We can
can
say
say
we
ass?
kicked its ass.
I didn't know.
I
we
mean,
could say
we
ass.
can
All
say
right,
it.
well,
You know, we're
okay.
just not going to dwell on it.
ass. All right.
Okay.
So the number
Like
of number of balls.
Like that. Once is sufficient.
All right. So the number of balls you get in that mini wizard mode has to do with the number of modes in the tier that you played. So if you played the left scoop set of modes, it's a 2-ball multi-ball. Slimer up the left ramp is a 3-ball, and what Chris did using the right orbit and playing the 4 modes out, that's a 4-ball. And so with that 6x multiplied, you could theoretically put up a 10 bill score on this or some obscene thing, I'm sure. Like if he had 6x'd out before we got into Stay Puffed, that would have been ludicrous.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was still pretty good. You know, we're not going to complain. All right. Pete, this is your chance to come back and,
Kick his ass.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing some Spirit of 76, Fred. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. Who wants to play, modern games? Certainly not me.
All right. I can only tell that Pete is playing the pinball machine, but I don't know what Pete is doing at the very moment. Why? Because a ghost has taken away the power to the camera.
We've lost the table cam, it appears.
It does appear that
Petey,
happened.
don't do anything major.
I mean, I think Pete's going to have to play for a few minutes in order to catch Chris. I'm just saying that, Aton's walking around. He knows what's going on. Oh, well. Hey, while we're taking a break here, I'd like to mention we're just under a month away
I can't believe it.
from Replay FX.
Doesn't it seem like it just happened?
What just happened?
Replay FX.
No, dude, I can walk again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
I mean,
that concrete floor does wear on you.
so
Because it's not only the 4 days of the show, but of course most of us are involved with the days of
the setup and
preparation,
everything.
setting
Yeah,
up
so
the games and leveling them
and so
Ugh.
just to give you an idea of what Replay FX is, Replay FX is from July 26th through the 29th, 2018. At the convention center. It's the home to a number of different tournaments and events. Of course, there's the pinball tournament, which is 840 people. That's sold out.
Oh yeah, within 45 seconds or something like that.
That's the largest tournament in the universe. It's also home to the Intergalactic Pinball Tournament, which is not sold out, and you can still get tickets at the event for that. It's also home to the Women's International Pinball Tournament, which is, I believe, sold out, but you can get on the waiting list for that.
Yeah, it was also sold out within a minute or so as well.
But the most important thing is that you can go there and you can play hundreds and hundreds of games that are set on free play just for paying your entry fee. It's set up. There's a lot of lasers. There's, is it safe to say thousands of console games available? Fred, is that a safe statement to say?
It is a very safe statement to say. There's tons of tournaments going over on in the console area this year. There's a Madden tournament. There is a what is it, Street Fighter tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's one, Super Mario Kart. Is that? It's going
to be every day. It's going to run every day, and it'll be available to public whenever there's not a tournament. It'll be 12 TVs with 12 Mario Karts going.
Oh my gosh,
that'll be pretty
so
awesome. Yeah, they'll all be on 50-inch TVs, and that'll be a permanent fixture over in that area.
I do have some super cool prizes for that tournament as well that I got.
Yeah, there's so much going on. There's stuff going on in the computer gaming area, the LAN gaming. There's just
board gaming.
There's board
gaming
in the lobby. There's a few hundred board games.
Do you have cosplay still this year?
Yeah, cosplay contest again this year. $4,000 worth of prize money.
Oh my gosh!
And over 10 bands are performing live on the Pinburg main stage.
Yeah, we tried to get Slayer, but it didn't work.
How about Iron Maiden?
No,
we did not try to get Slayer or Iron Maiden. That is not true.
I didn't say anything about Iron Maiden. I said Slayer.
You got the coolest band in the universe to play.
So the Babushka dog.
Vanilla Ice.
That would be the coolest band.
That would be the coolest band in the universe.
Word.
To your mother.
Yo
VIP.
Hey, do you remember when he went to hardcore? He went from rap to being a hardcore band.
Did he really?
He did for like 2 years, and then he just disappeared.
I got to tell you, I bet you he's still doing it.
You know what he's going to do? What's going to happen?
What's
he's going to end up in one of those Geico commercials. You know it. He's going to be like that one where they got the guy from Full House that come out of the couch. They pull it, Dave Coulier. They pull his head out of the couch. Vanilla Ice is going to be on one of those commercials at some point soon. I predict it.
Oh, that would be epic.
So CDs gets to hit start to enter his name. And then we're going to move on to our second game of the evening.
Yeah, I think we saw most of what Ghostbusters had to offer in that one ball.
I mean, to be fair, Pete actually played for quite a long time and put up a pretty nice game.
But not as nice as Chris.
Well, I mean.
That was tough. That was an incredible display.
But good work there by the crew here, getting the battery swapped out on the Playfield cam. That was the issue, and we're back. So,
all right, Stern Pro Circuit Tour. Let's see what we got going on. Replay FX. I see the
that graphic is awesome.
The Stern Pro Circuit. We actually have those shirts, if I'm not mistaken. But Stern Pro Circuit. Next event is Replay. But there are a number of events throughout the entirety of the year. They started back in March at Louisville, and they culminate. When's the last one? I don't remember the date on the last one. They're on the shirt right there. That's going to be.
I don't think the dates are
on them. Danish Pinball Open in Copenhagen.
I love Danish.
That is the last one. I love Danish too. And the Danes love their pinball. I know that too. So that'll be the last event. You can see them all right there on the screen. We got Chris Stevens that's sitting to my right here after destroying Ghostbusters.
Chris, that was amazing, dude.
Thank you.
That was absolutely phenomenal.
I needed it after rushing all the other balls prior to.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the best balls I think we've ever featured on.
I just
this show.
I kept blowing it because I didn't want to sit there and soft plunge the entire time. So I was just like, let me just plunge it and hopefully I'll get something.
Yeah.
And I just kept missing.
You only left 8 billion points on the table.
I left a lot. I know.
I'm just kidding.
But it felt great. It still felt good to get there, crushing some cars.
You did.
That's what you said you wanted to do. You said you wanted to crush cars, and you certainly did.
It is on the record this morning.
Yeah,
saying he wanted to crush cars.
That's all I said. I was like, I'll show up. I'll crush cars. That's all I wanted.
We're gonna move on to a far more slower paced game.
No, we will, but we're gonna get the cameras dialed in
so.
first here before we do that. So, we'll get that taken care of.
Whew.
And Doug's got another camera pointing towards my face, which is gonna just be hideous.
In 4K, no less. So
nobody wants to see my face in 4K.
It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, so
What else we got to talk about here? We got a few things coming up.
there we go. 7-9 Papa TV Live mystery games.
Oh, nice. We don't even know what games are going to be.
As we
featured.
said
I was
last
gonna
week,
say.
whenever we have mystery games, I have to know what games they are next week so I can put them in place. But we will eventually. So we're not really sure if anybody has any requests. Maybe we can sit there and, possibly look at, what people want to see. But we can't make any promises.
We don't have them all, but we have most.
No, we have a lot. So we got there goes. We're
There's
focusing in on
John.
John, and John's not on the screen right now, but you can't see him.
Oh my gosh, it's a good
He's-
thing people at home can't see that.
doing
Now they can.
There goes John in his orange tilt shirt, and he's not brushing his hair anymore.
If I get another 495 wears of this, I get a free pinball.
Cool. We did. I'm going to step off here for just a second. And hey, Pete,
Still
I'm
adjusting.
going to have Pete come over here and take over my spot for just a second.
Petey Hendricks. He's the defending PPL Grand Champion. Did you know that, Evan?
Defending PPL Grand Champion.
I know. Just say it slower.
I'd like to have some title to my name eventually, so I'm saying it, and hopefully it'll register, and that'll wear off on me. And I'm completely surrounded by champions. I got you. Petey has joined the booth right next to me.
That's old
John's over
news.
here, and
I'm the only Minberg champion ever.
That's true.
Only.
and I was pretty pleased with my 6th place Fight Club last night, but
Good old Fight Club.
after
I-
6
I-
hours of pinball and no dinner, I kind of ran out of gas.
Oh man! After
Oh my gosh.
at around 8 p.m., I lose gas and need to go
and
to bed.
it's funny. It's the EMs that end up killing you, not the newer stuff.
You need to learn to pace yourself.
Yeah, that's like how I feel at Pinburg. Even is just after you play a while, you need to find a chair. You need to sit down, mingle with your friends, hang out.
The secret to winning a championship is to obviously run the finals, set up all the brackets,
Oh yeah, so you know how you
and completely ignore your gameplay until you're actually playing the game.
Well, we kind of ran along last night, so we were talking about earlier about the lightning flippers and how we use them on other games besides Williams. And one of the things they did this week was put lightning flippers on the X-Men LE back there, and it actually made the game easier. So let's talk about our next game, which in the theme of 4th of July is the Spirit of 76, the Gottlieb of that era. And keys to the game brought to you again by Papa and our friends over at Path of Play. And those keys are Star Spangled Scoring. There are rollovers for 5 letters, A, B, C, D, and E. A, B, and C only available at the top of the playfield, kind of like a skill shot, if you will, from the 70s. The D and E lanes are lit from some rollovers on the sides of the playfield. And there's other in lanes as well. The more letters you get, it's a safe way of getting that bonus value pretty high. And this is a game where bonus and double bonus are probably going to make the difference between the winner and loser of the game. Our second key, 200 years worth of targets. So there's actually a set of drop targets. One is labeled 1776, and then the other with the bicentennial, 1976. And they're not worth that many points themselves, but the targets do advance bonus individually, although there's a kind of a loophole with electro-mechanical games I do want to address once we get into gameplay. But they're definitely worthy of going after in this game. And the last key, pioneering a bonus. So, like I said, most of the features on this game do award bonus in some way, which is collected at the end of the ball. So most games, with bonus being a big thing, don't tilt, because there goes your bonus. And a double bonus can be collected from the center saucer when it's lit, or on ball 5. Double bonus is given to you for free. So if you're having a bad game, which for me lately is most EMs, at least try really hard on ball 5, because with the double bonus spotted, you definitely want to take advantage of as many bonus targets as possible. So with the other double bonus, you can theoretically actually get a 4x bonus, if I'm not mistaken, on ball 5. So maybe we'll get to see that. All right, we ready to play?
Let's do this.
John's smiling. He's ready to go.
John's going to start us off on this game.
I got paired with John quite a bit last night, and he was just crushing the electro-mechanical. So I have reason to believe this trend is just going to continue.
There really isn't anything that John doesn't crush, though.
That's true. You should see him crush 2 liters of Mountain Dew.
It's a good thing we don't have the player headsets on this evening.
I spoke with John earlier about this particular machine, and he's a low-hanging fruit kind of guy. He likes to aim for those drops, and I have to agree with him on this one. Although I really like to shoot up top and hope that I can get some of those lovely lit rollovers that you get for collecting all the letters.
It definitely had
Nice.
a nice slap. Oh!
That one made me move in my chair.
And these Gottlieb flippers, they're kind of rounded on the end. Sometimes you can try to trap up, and you end up kind of like dead bouncing to the center drain a lot. So
Oh, yeah.
good game to really practice drop catch on, to just kind of blip that flipper enough to get the ball to come to a dead stop and not do that. So
It was good use there, using the slow momentum to stop the ball, and then a bank shot into the center scoop.
yep. So you can see the A, B, C, D, E letters. Some are available in multiple spots. Others, you have one way to collect them.
Oh, yeah.
The C got to be collected at the top. Everything else has got an in-lane associated with it.
And in-lane passing, shatzing can get you 2 of them.
That's
if
true.
you're really good.
I practiced that a little bit earlier, and I couldn't really do it that well. I can collect that A pretty decent.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's the replay of it going down the middle on John. But he
That
had
was a
some
good ball.
He had some good bonus. He made some shots. He had some control. I'd say that's a very successful ball one.
Yeah,
So-
you could tell he was considering making a move, but he knew he had the bonus and didn't want to risk it, so
Yes,
made
definitely.
a small move, but it wasn't going to be enough.
So I want to talk a bit about the electromechanical games and kind of how it negatively, if you will, impacts this game. So for those of you who've never looked under the hood of a pinball machine, games of this era, there's no computer chips, there's no circuit boards, there's no modern electronic circuitry. There's a lot of wire, a lot of relays, a lot of coils. And so only one thing can happen at a time. There's no way to kind of cue the scoring, if you will, with a modern computer circuitry that began in the late 1970s. And so if you happen to hit 2 things at the same time, only one can register. And in this game, that becomes important because it's very easy in this game to knock down 2 drop targets in a bank simultaneously. And I'm sure we're going to see that happen in the course of play. And you'll notice the bonus will only go up 1,000 because the game has no way to essentially catch up. It only saw one of the 2.
Just like
So
right there.
You're going to get 1 bonus advance and 1 500-point allowance. The other drop will fall, and so when they all go down, the bank will reset, but you're not going to get the points.
Well, and then this game, it's not huge. I mean, it's a little bit of bonus. On games like Volley, it can be substantial.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those
Very,
games
very important.
Some of those games with 20 more drop targets.
Like Big Shot.
Yep. But it does add up, especially if you got double bonus lit and you're kind of, I don't want to say throwing away a couple thousand here or there, but in a close match, it can add up.
Fred with a mediocre ball one. He did make a couple shots that knocked down some drops, but he fell victim to the straight down the middle as well. Little adjustment here to see if we can remove that glare for you. Oh, that's gorgeous. See, this is like what you might see going into the arcade back in the day.
Pinball after dark.
Look at this thing.
That's kind of cool because in chat, Scott Merrill just kind of reminiscing. He says Spirit was what he played at the Beach Tavern back in the 70s. The game is brutal but fun, and I agree with that. Not
Definitely.
an uncommon game. There were plenty of these around, but
I'm going to say, I'm pretty
it's a
sure.
great game.
I think this had a rather high production value,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
Still to this day, pretty easily obtainable cost-wise.
Certainly. I mean, finding one in good shape might be a little difficult because they definitely got their play. And John there plunging the C, which is the most important one you can get, because that's the only one you can get from up top. You can get the A's, the B's, the D's, and the E's through the inlanes at the bottom, which he's really rocking and rolling down there right now. And he shoots the A. All he has is left is that B right now.
So, plunging, or the skill shot, if you will.
Oh, yes.
To see, very important in games in this era because if you can find that middle shot, that C, that's the only way to do it, like you said. like on ball 1 or 2, and you know where it is on the plunger, and you've got a nice consistent plunger, you've basically given yourself that C for the rest of the game.
Definitely.
And in a 5-ball game, which most of the EMs here, if not all of the EMs, are set to.
Yes, they are.
It's very important. I mean, it's extremely valuable to have that shot dialed in early.
Yep.
So
Now-
lunging is definitely as important as flipping.
Now, it looked like on John's last ball, he tried to nudge it through the B, knowing that was the last one he needed, and then just over-nudged it,
And then it went straight down the middle on him.
or maybe he changed his mind on what he was going to do, and it cost him.
Cost him the potential for double bonus. Now, once you clear those drops, he still has to make that ridiculously difficult center hole shot.
Yeah, I was having a tough time finding it.
Fred
Fred?
plunges the D.
I mean, it's definitely better than plunging and missing all of the inlanes up top. So, at least he gets something out of it.
Okay, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to kind of quickly rehash the keys to the game. We had a little technical snafu, I guess, with the background music was kind of over-modulating my voice. So we've kind of talked about this a little bit here and there since, but the A, B, C, D, and E targets, or letters rather, are really valuable through the course of the game. Some of them are available in multiple places.
Whoa.
Others, like the C, is only available at the top middle plunge, and getting those letters and the star rollovers is a way to really build up bonus value. The second key was with the 1776 and 1976 drop target banks on the left and right center, and each of those scores 500 points per drop target and will advance the bonus. So they can be used, but the upper playfield maybe not as valuable
Oh, he did
as
it again.
getting those targets, but you can get some funky angles off those drop targets. The designers put them at such an angle to try to get the ball to go to the left and right out lanes. So the last key, again rehashing, was the bonus. So pretty much all of the shots in the game award bonus in some way, which is collected at the end of the ball, so we don't want you to tilt. And there's a double bonus collected from the center saucer, which is lit after you knock down all 8 drop targets. So complete 1776, complete the 1976 bank, and then double bonus can be collected at that pretty difficult center saucer.
Oh, yes.
And lastly, on ball 5, everybody gets spotted a double bonus. So you want to make that ball 5 big, and you can
Look at that. Look at this nudge.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
then it just drained. I think I caught a little bit of the cupped insert on the E there because it had a little swirl to it.
So if you got that double bonus spotted on ball 5 and then you took down the entire 8 drop targets, it's actually a 4x bonus collected at the saucer. So if you're going to have a good ball, again, make it ball 5.
You're always in the game when that possibility exists.
Yeah, I forget, what is max bonus on this game?
10 or 15 or 19. Oh, let's find. Hopefully, we'll find
Hopefully
out.
We'll find out. I mean, there's a 10,000 as the max number, but most of the games of this era kind of allow a secondary light to
I
ramp
guess
up
what
the
I'm
ladder.
saying is I have no idea.
Yeah, really. I never really get that far, so I can't tell you
Yeah.
what the bonus max is.
We played like Captain Fantastic last night. It's similar layout, and we thought the max bonus was 19 because it went all the way up to 10,000, and we thought the second light went up to the 9,000, but it turns out 15 was the max, and I ended up winning because with max double bonus, it was almost just poor Walt would have had to grind small points away for half an hour to catch up. So,
Oh, yeah.
tough drain.
That was a rough one.
I see the pop bumpers going on and off. Are they worth more when they're on, or any idea?
I think they're always lit, but they turn off whenever it's cycling points. So it'll off right here. Or right there. 500 points is when it turns them off.
So it's the fireworks of the game.
Yes.
I
And I'm
like what you
sticking
did
to
there.
that story.
John with a good trap here, and now he can take an aim at the drop targets. He has a small lead, but I guess it's better to have the lead than be behind.
Definitely.
Well,
Especially when he's picking off these targets to get the bonus. It's kind of Just really helping him pull ahead, as long as he doesn't tilt.
Scott
John
says
never tilts.
Scott in chat says he'd pay $3,000 for one in working condition. I think a whole bunch of us would like to sell you one at that price.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You can probably pick one up for a third of that, if not even a bit more. So I have seen these in working condition, maybe not like mint condition, but in the hundreds of dollars. So good luck to you. Hopefully you can find one. Again, they made a lot of these, so it shouldn't be too tough to get a hold of one either. In this version, I think there's a 2-player version of this, perhaps, under a slightly different title.
Now I'm curious.
I gotta look this up.
Yes, please do.
Would that be
I'm almost positive.
Would that be the Spirit of 38?
Spirit of
No, it was
17.
like
It's half the game.
I want to say it's Freedom, maybe?
Freedom.
Look this
That's.
up.
I think you're right on that one.
I mean, you guys have been in this way longer than I have, so if I'm right, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I think
but
freedom's
take my
freedom.
points.
There is a freedom, but I don't think that's this game.
Oh, well. The old IPDB.org will never steer me wrong.
Whoa, power
All
and
right,
rain.
now see, this is where the skill shot would have been huge. He has
Yes.
everything but the C.
So all of those star rollovers up top were lit besides the center one below the C. That's another reason why plunging the C is very important, because if you plunge the C, you'll add the bonus from the star rollover that lights directly underneath it.
Fred showing his nonchalance or non-care about winning. He just stepped up and plunged.
Ooh,
Not even trying to measure it.
I love when you find interesting stuff out that you didn't expect. Okay, so there is a 2-player version of this game. It's called Pioneer.
Pioneer, okay.
Ah, I should have known.
But what's more interesting, what I didn't know, is there's a special 2-player add-a-ball version of this game called New York. Anybody care to
Oh.
wager a guess as to why the name is that?
It was on Final Jeopardy last night.
Nuh-uh.
I don't know.
Oh, I was like, really? So
He was like, nah.
if you think about,
It was
all
the
right, I'm going to
first
give you
New
guys
York.
a hint.
Well, let's see, New
So
York.
New York,
probably
and what
has-
happened in
with Roger
1976?
Sharp. Yep.
That's it. So in 1976, the ban was lifted of the laws that had banned pinball in New York, thanks to the work of Roger Sharp.
Is there a production run you have there for how
That's,
many New Yorks were made?
Interesting.
That one you might catch for $3,000.
Confirmed at 300. So
Ooh,
rare,
yeah,
but
can't
not.
Yeah,
can't
that's
say I've ever
exceptionally
seen
rare.
one.
It's a low run.
All right, we're in the double bonus ball here, so
This is where you want to pick off them targets. One at a time.
So Scott in chat, they made slightly over 10,000 of these. So
10,000?
it's,
Is
for-
that just the 4 players?
yeah, the one we're playing right now, which is, I
Wow.
mean, that's extremely common.
good
one of the highest
patience
production
there.
totals
How
ever.
don't I have one? Like,
Because you've never went looking for one.
yeah, I should go to New York. All right, so he's got a bunch of in lanes as well, so he's shooting it up top to get those lit rollovers, and he's really lighting it up there.
All I know is when this game came out, I was a thought in my parents' eyes. So almost there, but I hadn't made it yet.
Back up top. He's going for the drop. Back up top or go for the drop. That's a fun little way to say it.
Why not both?
Oh, definitely both. Getting them rollovers. See, he has all the drops down, so it's lit the...
Yeah, he really wants
The
to start
saucer.
going for that center saucer at some point.
Is it worth anything more right now?
Well, that's
Because he already has double bonus.
Yeah, but you're going to collect it
collect
at double
it and
bonus.
start
I
it
think.
over again. Or no, I don't think it does go back. It's
Whoa.
just,
I don't think John knows that.
yeah, we'll find out.
It will be a 4x bonus collect.
Oh, they
And
are.
there it
Oh,
is.
he's on ball 5. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Go, go, go. And John is in New York,
Absolutely destroyed.
and he's
this
back
game.
in Carnegie.
He rolled it.
And it reset. So he still has all his rollovers lit. It did not pop the drop targets back up, which I think is a good thing. Otherwise, that'd be a lot of points.
What's wrong with that?
Look at this action he's getting up top.
He is
Unbelievable.
just pop bumpering it up there.
Quick 4,000 and start it again.
It must be
So
nice when the ball accidentally goes in the
So does that
saucer.
saucer collect after every shot up there now? because I didn't think he had it lit, but it still counted 4,000 in bonus. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, no, it's lit again.
Okay, now it's lit again.
Yeah, and the drops stayed down.
Beautiful
Oh
ball.
my gosh.
Beautiful.
John's dancing off camera, and deservedly so.
We're going to need
my
to change the
gosh.
drop targets to 2018. That was amazing.
118, 370 for John.
I feel like the only chance I have of beating John on these games is if the 100,000 light is out, and we could pretend we didn't see the rest.
And if the tilt's tight enough.
So Evan, the chat room's asking, if you were actually looking for one of these games, where would you start?
Okay, that's actually a very, very, very good question.
This is, yeah, I'm.
So back, if you asked me this question, 10, 15 years ago, I'd say eBay, because people kind of didn't know what stuff was worth. The prices were way down. Now it's completely the opposite. To me, that's the worst place to look for a game. Everybody thinks they have some rare gold mine that's worth 5 times what the realistic value is. And then people think that's what the game's worth, and they don't ever sell for that price. And we'll just don't go eBay. It's pretty much impossible. You're going to find a deal there. Pinside is an excellent place to find games.
Oh, that was amazing.
The sheer volume of games among collectors and non-collectors is the best. It's kind of got a great review type system to know you're
Here's
dealing with
this
somebody
Lazarus.
legit. Holy cow!
Sorry, Evan. That was,
No, definitely
that
wanted
was
to
an
see that.
incredible Lazarus.
Feel free to interrupt me. Oh my gosh. Pinside, you're going to get fair prices because the self-team price police typically will take care of any sort of price gouging to be had. And games just don't sell if they're priced out of bounds. But if you need a game, chances are you can find it there. You mentioned Craigslist. Still, that's an excellent source for games. It really depends on the market. Here in Pittsburgh, if some deal pops up on Craigslist, probably one of us or someone we know is going to claim that game
And it's
as
gone.
fast as they can get in the car and
Yeah.
drive there. So it's almost an impossibility here, but it depends where you are in the country. Maybe not as many collectors, and it's a bit easier to get games. A lot of my collection when I lived in Kansas City came off Craigslist.
Yeah. I actually bought my second ever electromechanical machine. Not exactly straight from Craigslist, but there was an estate sale.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and
I've done that.
And on it just said pinball machine. I was like, I'm going to go check this out. And it was by my girlfriend's house at the time, and I drove there with her, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, it's called a Big Brave. I don't know that much about it, but it wasn't working. The guy was talking to me about it, and I was like, do you mind if I tinker around with it? He's like, hey, yeah, knock yourself out. So I opened it up and put credits on it and fixed the score reels, and it lit up, and he was just like, no way. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how much do you want to give me for it? He's like, I want you to have it.
What?
And I got
That's
I
awesome.
got a really nice deal.
Those are the best kind.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so some of the kind of derivatives of Craigslist are also good. I've seen decent games pop up on like Let Go and
Yep.
Offer Up and those sorts of things. You just want to be careful. My rule, I don't know what you guys feel about this, is cash on the glass. In other words, I will not do a transaction that I can't do in person, see the game, inspect the game, and don't be afraid to walk away.
Agreed.
People sometimes over-describe their games, even with pictures. You can do a lot with pictures that don't really show you the defects and issues. So if you can't see it in person, play it, open up the cabinet, open up the back box, look at the circuitry and the boards and the playfield. You know what? Pass. A lot of my friends even that are really on the up and up of these things have unfortunately been taken advantage of by scammers. So
Yeah, and Aton with a great comeback.
he did. What,
take
50
second.
something?
Yeah, he ended with
52.
52-270.
And one final point on what Evan was talking about there. There are vendors that will sell games too. If you have a dream title and you're not willing, and you're willing to, where price is not an option,
Right.
go ahead and check those places out. I mean, there's a lot of places that sell games that have great working titles. Sure, the price will be a lot more than most people would be willing to pay, but if it's your dream title, go for it.
Absolutely. And for newer games, this becomes really easy. Stern and Jersey Jack and Spooky and the other major companies out there have distribution sites all over the U.S. and Europe, Canada, Australia. So pretty easy to get games for fair prices, brand new in the box for the newer titles. But I enjoy the hunt of the old stuff.
Yeah, I actually, I was mainly all about the EMs, mainly because that's all I could afford. So
I wish I knew how to fix them. That's the last kind of issue I've got.
I learned how to fix them real quick. I love it. I love the challenge. I love schematics. I love everything about it, except for when I can't fix them, then I don't love it. But yeah, that's basically what I aimed for, which is trying to find some good deals. And I even bought a Big Shot just because my dad owned one. And it was definitely not worth what I paid for it. But I bought it just for the sentimental value, and it was busted, and I really wanted to fix it. And that's why it's still in my basement, and it actually works. And now I'm turning it into a little game where it has custom drop targets.
Neat.
And it's going to be incredible.
So I picked up that Gottlieb Super Score. I've talked about that story in the past here, so I'm not going to get into that. But I got it home, and I was able to play out the rest of the game. It was in a state that I could finish out the existing game, but it won't reset. So I know it works, but I'm close. But I got to spend some time with it.
You'll get there.
So
and they start up another game, Lewis, with a sad ball one.
Oh, and the Ghost of Polka is involved in this game.
Oh boy, we're in for a treat here.
I think he's clearly going to be the favorite in this foursome.
That
Just like that. The spirit guided that ball right down the middle.
Yeah, the spirit
Did
is
he even
76.
Did he even get 76 points?
And after ball one, Pred's in the lead.
So we've got a new sponsor on board, don't we?
Oh, we do.
And that sponsor happens to be Pin Stadium.
The lovely Pin Stadium lights.
So these are really cool. And just looking at Pinside, some of the other threads, they're gaining a huge following very quickly. Kind of simplistic, and why didn't anybody else ever think of this? But those of us used to playing games on location in your basement or whatever, especially if you like to play in the dark, a lot of the games were really poorly lit back in the day. The lighting was just not great and not well distributed back, especially back in the incandescent bulb era.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
what Pin Stadium has done is basically produce these really easy to install LED strips that are not in the way of the game whatsoever. You don't even notice they're there, and they illuminate the entire playfield. What's really cool is you can modify the colors remotely. They work through an app on your phone.
Yeah, from your phone. It's pretty impressive.
So you can add kind of a warm white or cool white feel to just brighten up an existing game without altering it. Or if you want to do some cool purple or green thing or go crazy and experiment, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can plug the lights into just the general illumination circuitry, so they're always on. That's what general illumination means. The light bulbs on a pinball machine that are always on regardless of the game player's scoring. Or you could, I guess, even sync them up to flashers and other game controlled lamps and have them
Yes.
kind of interact with the gameplay.
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting feature. I watched a couple of videos on it, and you can basically make it where whenever something happens with a flasher in the machine, it will activate the Pin Stadium lights. So it's like another level of a light show. It's very, very fun, very impressive.
Right, so check those out at pinstadium.com, pinstadium.com, and give them a shot. I think we're going to be adding some of those to some of the games at Pinburg here. So we'll kind of see how that goes. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to purchase some myself for my Metallica, because another thing that's really cool about them is they're actually really good for people that like to stream pinball machines. So it's definitely worth grabbing a couple and putting them on the sides. And for me personally, I'm really looking forward to testing them out.
And welcome back to the booth. The man who just rolled Spirit of 76, John Replogle.
Yeah, my work was done.
That's like how I
You
felt
can't-
after Ghostbusters.
You can't top that?
No.
Probably not, no. I just actually kicked Evan off the microphone to go look at the sky because we have a heavy downpour going on, and the sky is a bright color of peach in the background. I have never seen quite that color. And I know he is actually truly a weather enthusiast. I'm sure he would appreciate that.
I'm seeing the picture posted to Facebook now with the headline, "Ain't that a peach?"
Ain't that- how often do you get to see a peach sky?
That's very true.
Right, Lewis hits the skill shot there, and now he just needs to get the rest.
Yep, he got the first part done and taken care of, and now let's see if he can get some more lanes up top to light more star rollovers to collect more bonus.
There it is. There's
Or
a
I
double
guess
collect.
bank more bonus.
This game is very nudgeable too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's you can get a lot of play off of it.
It seemed during your game there was a couple times where you were trying to decide which nudges to take, and then you either changed your mind or it wasn't quite the nudge that you expected.
I did a warm-up game on it, and I thought I had all the nudges worked out, but when we moved the game to set up the camera here, it actually significantly altered the angle of play on it.
Oh, wait, let's see
Let's see
if
if Doug-
Polka can get his third no flip.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
I'm cheering for Doug. Doug is.
Thanks for coming out.
Just to be fair, I'd like to mention that if he decided to nudge those, he might have actually gotten some action on it.
Yeah, but he's
I think he's testing a theory at this
he's
point.
playing scared. He wants to. He
Oh.
wants
Fred
to.
should
look
have
like
had that
it.
one.
There was, he got rubber on that one, John.
Yeah, he did. He did. He wants that ball back, I think.
I think Polka wants all
Jake
three. of
working
his
hard
back.
to nudge it into the sea, but coming up empty.
Yeah. Evan just came back and said it was cool. So I am glad that I was confirmed. I thought it was cool.
I hope he got a picture because now I kind of want to see it. Is it raining outside?
It's pouring and the sun is shining
Oh no. Okay.
in peach.
There you go.
And peachy.
All right.
All right,
So
Lewis.
steps up. Okay, he's got a plunge in his mind,
Oh.
and it got him. And
He picked up a B
And an E.
and an E on the side.
Now he's got bed.
He's bed.
I would.
He's gonna lay in. Oh.
There's bead.
Okay, see, at this point, it
Oh.
would be beneficial to go back up top
I
after
was
you have
gonna
that many
say
letters.
you have that many letters. Shoot it up top and pray for some rollovers.
Right.
The amazing thing here, Doug has yet to flip, but he is still very much in this game.
He is right behind everybody. Oh, it's gonna happen again. Isn't it? Oh no. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so here.
Doug Polka.
So congratulations, Doug. We should get an instant replay of that because we don't see that very often here on PAPAtv Live. This is why Doug directs tournaments.
Do you think he'll come back and win this game?
I think there is
Hey, now.
a distinct lack of possibility of that.
We make fun of Doug, but he won the PPL championship way before I did.
That
That's
is true.
And me.
Well, you had an excuse. You weren't playing then.
I believe he actually won before I did it. So
Yeah. He won before everyone not named Steve Zumoff.
right.
He
Oh,
he
he's-
got some points.
Yeah, points were scored.
And on this last ball, I mean, if everyone doesn't do that well and get any more bonus, and he gets something, it's doable.
It's definitely doable. You have the double bonus on the last ball. Uh-oh.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, he got the elusive hole.
And that got him nothing.
1,000 points.
1,000 points. Okay.
That's something.
Yeah.
I mean, that 1,000 points is Doug's first 3 balls.
If you do it on the last ball, it's really valuable. You can collect that max bonus.
Yeah, that was beautiful, by the way,
Needs
John.
to get it there.
Oh!
Oh.
Okay, all right. I see what you're doing there.
Way to stay with it, and
Oh.
then ball it up
He
with
was
the-
looking for a second one, and the second one was not coming. All right, Jake is here for his redemption. He's currently in the lead.
I know he's down by
He's
5.
down by 5,000 to player 1 and 2,000 to player 3. So he needs to flip.
And he was redeemed.
He takes
redeemed
second
with
place right now.
Redemption.
All right, we've got
I'm not sure what Lewis is doing here.
I'm not sure what Lewis is doing either, but
roll with it. He's a pioneer, guys.
I mean,
come on.
He's a natural because he equipped his desert suit in natural desert fashion. Oh, I find that that's actually probably the best way to get the hole in this. You bank it off the left drop target bank, and it might go in there.
I've seen that go in there more often than whenever I've been aiming up the middle, so I'm definitely a believer in that as well.
Don't shoot it head on. It's probably not going to work.
But
Some good nudge in there.
Points.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, he does a rollover and then shoots it up a lane. Get some rollover action.
Rollover action. Oh!
Way to stay with it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there we go.
For a second there, I thought he gave up on it.
All right.
He's back. He's back, and that's a big ball to finish up with. He's got 12,000 points doubled.
Beautiful. Amazing.
59. Not a bad game.
Not bad
Now-
by any stretch.
Now let's watch Doug make the great comeback.
All
here.
right, here comes the comeback.
I think this is the first letter that Doug has gotten in this game,
First time he decided to plunge a lane up there.
and this is scary.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually on the edge of my seat right now.
He's got a trap, and he
And there's
it
that
is.
bank
banks
shot.
it into the hole. Let's see if he can do that again. Maybe that's the strategy here.
1,000 at a time.
Well, maybe not.
I feel like once you collect those middle drop targets, it's very dangerous to hit those
I-
rubbers behind the drop targets, because then that ball's going fast.
It doesn't take the energy out of it like it does the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
He almost trapped himself into oblivion there, but he managed to make the save. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Got a little cutesy with the ball, and
And that'll do it.
that'll cost him.
Yeah, the
Wow.
look of shame, looking up and being like, I'm in last.
We would like to thank you for joining us tonight on another edition of Papa TV Live, where we have learned, we have yearned, we have spurned,
We
And-
saw ghosts.
and we saw ghosts.
And we crushed cars.
So we have one more broadcast to go before we take our break for the Replay FX show. So that is
Mystery game. So we're doing Mystery Castle and Whodunit?
well, we just don't know what those games
We
are.
don't know what they are.
Okay.
So it's a mystery to us as well. So, but we'd like you to look forward to seeing you next week for the final broadcast, pre Replay FX, and have a
Oh,
great
yes.
night. Happy flipping.